right, positive energy all the time. Here we go again. Here we go again. Shout out to the beautiful and gorgeous Sharon, representing Dallas, Texas. We got Muscle Shoals, Alabama in the building. As you all know, everybody on Facebook, everybody on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. I am representing Chicago, Illinois. And here we go again. We have Trinidad in the building. Here we go again, back to back. Just the other day, judge allows termination of temporary protective status for Somalis. So Somalis will begin to get deported. More powers in the building. Salute, King. Salute. Here we go again. Now, we knew that was going to happen. We knew the Somalis had the majority of those who had been charged so far were members of the Somali community there, including the case of Feeding Our Future, a false charity said to be providing meals given $250 million under the federal child nutrition program. In an interview with the National News Desk, Peter Schweitzer, the president of the Government Accountability Institute, called the evidence overwhelming. They were saying that they were feeding a whole bunch of children a day in a place that looked like it barely held 30 people. You can't make this up. So they was up there scamming big time. People are definitely going to go to prison up there. Under the Biden administration, people were just scamming left and right and right and left and left and right and right and left. He was incompetent, sleep all the time, and not able to do a job. He was a horrible president based on his health, and he should have been replaced 3 years before the election even came. He should have barely did 1 year. After 1 year, we could see that Biden was not able to do the job. He should have been replaced. I don't know why they left him in there like that, but it is what it is. And everybody's mad because Trump is in office, but you should be mad at Biden and the Biden administration and the Democrats for not getting Biden out of there and put somebody in there competent enough to run the job and run for re-election. They let him stay in there. I don't know why. But while he was in there being incompetent, people ran over the government. We got Pittsburgh in the building. Ran over the government. I think that situation, I think the Somalis up there in Minnesota, I think they made it bad for immigrants as a whole. I think they made it bad. Always a pleasure, sweetheart. I think we got Tennessee in the building. Salute to everybody in Tennessee. I think the Somali situation is going to get a lot of immigrants deported. I think that was like the last straw. We got the beautiful and gorgeous Teresa in the building representing Greenville. Hey, cutie pie. I think Minnesota. We got Memphis, Tennessee in the building. Salute, salute, beautiful. Good to see you. We got Syracuse in the building. Salute to my brother Stroman. I think the situation in Minnesota with the Somalis really hurt immigrants. I think it put a bad, and how California looks. Oh, then the Venezuelans running across. Uh, I think immigrants don't really have much of a chance now. It's just been too much negative immigrants. Too much. Too much. Too much negative immigrants. We got DCVA in the house. And I really think all of that negative immigrant media has made it bad for immigrants. I don't think a lot of immigrants will be left. It's just been bad news with immigrants, with the Chinese coming over here having babies and getting, birthright citizenship. I really think America's got to shut down anybody coming into the country. Especially up there where you at. Yeah, definitely lock as many people as you can up in Minneapolis. Yeah, go. You could just lock all of them up. Third world immigrants are settling in FBA neighborhoods or next to FBA and denigrating the community and the environment. I don't know anything about it. I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know anything about that. I think just some cities don't take care of themselves. I don't know anything about that. I accidentally deleted that by mistake. I don't know anything about that. I think that I think this will go bad for immigrants. They'll go so far this way, and they'll be pushed back that way. That's for sure. It won't work out well. It won't work out well at all. Not at all. The best thing that can happen for immigrants is the government deal with it rather than the people. If the people deal with it, it's going to get ugly. Right? I'm not really big on uh, overhyping stories. I don't really trust a lot of that. I don't. A lot of that stuff when people, I don't be buying into that type of reporting. I find that type of reporting to be sensationalism rather than realistic reporting. Sensationalism. You know. There won't be no Somalians in Minnesota when you blink. They'll all be arrested, chased out, and deported. No, not really. I think you trolling. Give it a break. They troll. They trolling. They trolling. When these people come over with these weird names and stuff, you can't trust nothing they say. Okay, can't trust them. They'll say anything. I put them on timeout. Just be trolls. When you start seeing people come in and post back to back to back to back, you can't trust them. When I go down and I see back to back to back to back to back to back, I don't trust you. I've been doing this a long time. Anytime you see them and they just keep talking, 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 typing, typing, they're not serious. They're just trying to be seen. They're not really interested in a conversation. They're trying to be seen. They really ruin the chat. They run everybody out the chat. Later, you find out it's a troll. They just be setting you up for the troll conversations. I've been doing this. You could tell. There's not that much to say. So you see them, like that. If you want to be a content creator, soon as you see them and you see them talking so many times in a row, that's a troll. Get rid of them. They ain't going to stop. There'll be 100 times down your chat. I'm telling you. So, a judge has allowed the termination of TPS for Somalis. That'll all end. And they'll put some out. They'll open it up for white Americans to buy land. The white Americans that come buy the land, chase them out. It'll be like they was never there. They'll gentrify foreign neighborhoods. It's real easy. They'll gentrify and run them out. Simple. They will gentrify them and run them out. They'll come in, they'll build some new stuff. They'll hire certain type of police to do a lot of pulling over and a lot of searching. They'll make it a little uncomfortable. They'll deport a lot of people and clean the place up like it never happened. Anybody that tells you anything other than that is definitely younger than me for sure and don't know how America works. It ain't going to go like that. They will get you out of here like you was never here before. When you see a person that constantly push, America's going to get ran over, America, sometimes that's their wishful thinking. All right? You have to ask yourself, why they so hyped to promote it's the end of America? Because they're part of the people that is probably pushing that. The FBI should check them out if they push that too much, if you ask me. If you seem too hyped for the fall of America, you should be investigated. The FBI should come check you out. Why are you so hyped? And that turns you on? Are you a part of the problem? There's a lot of questions we got to ask you. Cuff them, bring them down to the station. You know what I'm saying? You a little too hype, too happy about the destruction, promoting fear to the public. For the young people watching me, when you see that in the comment section, you must be suspicious. There's all type of people be in the comment section, Russians, people that don't even live in America, especially during election. When you get close to election, you get a lot of foreign governments in the chats pushing false propaganda and fear mongering. Somebody come over here. You want me to show you stuff? No, I want you to shut up. Yeah, I asked you to come over here and show me something. Go on your own account and show people stuff over there. You know what I'm saying? What make you think you can come over here and show somebody something? Don't you got a YouTube? Go on your own YouTube and show them what you're talking about. What do you think this is? I like to block up your YouTube with my information. Basically, can I come over and flood your YouTube with my information? No. Go to your own YouTube and flood information on your own YouTube. No, you can't come over here with no fake name. I don't know who the hell you is talking to me. Where they do that at? You think I'm just listening to any old weirdo over here with some weirdo name try to tell me something that I can't verify who you are either? Yeah, right. What's next? You got 1,000 acres of land you want to sell me for $45? You know what I'm saying? Go get your ass out of here. This big pharaoh. Don't come over here with that trolling, that internet foolishness. And so the judge has allowed termination of TPS for Somalis. Thank God. There's just certain people in certain cultures that'll destroy the country. If you can't behave in your country, why would we let you in our country? You know, a lot of Somalians don't sound appealing. Too much terrorism, too much fanatical Islam, too much. Too much. Too much. You ruin the fabric of the country. You know? Immigration got to be done in a way that the country can stay the way it is. It can't be done in a way where it changes the fabric of the country and ruins it for people that already been here. You cannot come here and change how people live that been here. You have to come and get in where you fit in. But the idea you can come and just upset the lifestyle that people have been living here, that can't happen. Immigration definitely needs to be shut down totally for a while, especially with all these natural disasters. Well, we need to take care of these people. Look at the natural disasters. I don't know if you pay attention, but look at the fires all over the country, especially on the Northwest. The whole place is on fire. Canada, too. And then there's fires all across the U.S., all the way down to Florida. Now you got all these floods, Indiana, the whole Midwest. Okay. You can still bring people in the midst of that? How? That's bad governing. You might barely be able to take care of everybody who might be losing their property over the next couple of years based on the lack of respect for the environment. There's been no respect with the environment. You know, there's a certain group of people, they don't respect the environment. Ancient people and people used to respect the environment, but these new people, hint, hint, they are anti nature, it seems like. It don't look like they got no respect for the environment. To me, anytime you just want to put thousands of satellites to go around and around, you think that's going to work? You don't put thousands of data centers drinking up 1 million gallons of water a day. This almost seems like you're not human. Like maybe you're not a real human from Earth or something. Who would do that? Looks like some alien life force is here. Someone that's not in tune with the planet. Somebody totally out of tune with the planet, other people. I mean, what else we supposed to think? The whole doggone all France and all that's on fire. It's clearly you don't know what you're doing. Like the people that's running the planet, clearly they don't know what they're doing. I mean, it's beyond obvious at this point that the people that's running the earth, the powers that be, absolutely don't know what they're doing. We'll be all on fire and underwater before people admit it. You can't make this up. So the judge has allowed termination of TPS for the Somalis. Judge allows termination of TPS for Somalians. The Department of Homeland Security officially terminated the temporary protective status designated for Somalia effective August 14, 2026, following a Supreme Court ruling affecting ongoing TPS challenges. Federal courts cleared the path for the administration to end these protections, invalidating related work authorization. So what they've been doing is taking away their work permits so they can't make no money, starve them out. Impact on beneficiaries and employers. Employment authorization documents under category A12 and C19 for temporary Somalia are no longer valid. Okay. Re-verification. Employers must verify workers who previously presented Somali TPS EADs and cannot retain individual lacking alternative legal work authorization. Legal status. Individuals without another legal immigration status must explore alternate legal avenues or face potential enforcement action. And this what people say, oh, they're going to run over the country. No, because they're going to make it where you can't earn no money. They're going to turn your money off. And once they turn your money off, they're going to wait to see if you do something illegal so they can arrest you, lock you up, make you do time in prison, and then still deport you. So they turned these people money off. You understand? I'm not sure how many is on TPS, but a lot. But they definitely are about to be starving and turning to crime or leaving. They're going to have to turn to crime or they're going to have to leave. The Haitians, the Somalians and everybody else, once they turn off your work permit, you're done. You're done. So they're going to turn off their work permits and they'll have to leave. They already know how to get you out of here. When they brought you in here, they put you on a work permit that you got to show to stay here. That allows them to turn off your job and force you out. Smart. So when you hear people say, oh, they're going to overrun the city, no, because they're not going to be able to make any money. They're not going to be able to make any money. They got them in a trick bag. They got to have that paper to go to work. That paper's got to be updated. When they turn that paper off, and you cannot go to work. If you let them work for you and they don't have the paper, they're going to take your business. They're going to lock you up and them. So if you hire them without the permission of the United States government, they are going to lock you up. They say, well, do they have enough police to do that? Yes, that creates more jobs. While they close them jobs, they got more ICE jobs. Somebody's still going to get paid. The economy going to still econo. Yeah, the economy going to econo. Yeah, people are going to make money out of throwing you out. It's going to be big money out. You know, if I was young, I'd get out there and be throwing them out. I'd go get that bag. Yeah. If I was younger, I'd be out there. I'd be out there working with ICE, riding down the street with my headphones on, kicking the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Pharaoh, don't arrest me no more. I'd be banging that Biggie Smalls, kicking the ICE. No, don't run, Rodrigo. No, Ahmad, don't run. No, I'm a Asalama, no. No, I don't Asalama. I arrest. Get him out of here. I'll be getting that bag. They pay a good money to throw people out right now. I don't know if y'all know it. They're creating a whole new economy. The money's still circulating. Look it up, how much they'll pay you now to throw people out. Good money. Good money. Good money to throw you out. Nice job. Plenty benefits too. Yep, goodbye. They got some South Africans and some other people they want to bring over here. They want to bring South Africans over here and Ukrainians. Yeah. They're trying to make move for Ukrainians and South Africans. When you let too many people in, they destroy your country. You have to let a few in at a time. Look at LA. All the glory is gone. LA used to be a glorious place. Now they trashed it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They trashed it. Look at LA. The only reason they can't do Chicago is too many black folks, too many black gangs. Because people are like, they're going to do Chicago. No. This is not the place. If immigrants come here and get on black Chicagoans' nerve, the immigrants going to have to call the police for help. You know what I'm saying? We worse than ICE. Yeah, he worse than ICE. They don't necessarily want white foreigners, but they'll bring them in. They just want people that know how to act. They would take black foreigners. Unfortunately, other countries with black people, they don't got the same type of law and order. Other black people ain't mannerable and got the law and order we got. You know what I'm saying? These countries is like third world countries. People say, well, y'all got criminals and go to jail and stuff. Go into jail here and be around American criminals and go into jail and be around third world criminals. You can see the difference. Now, we got some penitentiaries that's raggedy, but the behavior in an American prison penitentiary ain't nothing like the behavior in the third world. Despite what they tell you, it's not as much violence in the prison as they be telling you. They be overhyping that. They be overhyping that, making you think it's just everybody just running around. Nobody got to live with nobody, so I don't know what you're saying. Ukrainians come here, they don't got to live with black people. White people don't live with black people. We just, in Chicago, we don't really live with white people. We live over here, they live over there. That's a misstatement. That just means you don't really know what's going on. No, they have neighborhoods. You live in your own neighborhood. The only way they would live with you is in your neighborhood. You could be white and live here and never see a black person. Not like that. Same thing in Chicago. You can live in Chicago and never see a white person. A little bit too much, kind of getting close to trolling. Like, cut back a little bit, would you please? A little too much comments. Like, you kind of overdoing it with the comments. Let some other people say something. Like, you doing too much. It's a lot of mm, too much. Sometimes we get people want to be seen in the chat. I like people to add to the chat, but not when they block everybody else's comments and make everybody else's comment move up because they keep typing and nobody really else get to say nothing. If they talk too many times in a row, they push everybody out the chat. It's almost like fanatical almost. I don't think it's necessary to respond that much. But it's cool. Maybe if it's a whole lot of people up here and the chat's moving fast, yeah. But it's not really that many people over here. The chat move kind of slow. If you got a whole bunch of people, you can let trolls and everybody come because it's. But if you got a few people, you can't just let them do that. They ruin the whole situation. I mean, we got some cool immigrants in the country. There's a lot of different immigrants in the country. Some of them just got super bad habits, and some don't. Like Ethiopians is cool. Yeah, they do it on purpose. You know, Ethiopians is cool. Somalians are a little religious, fanatical, into a whole lot of, you know, a lot of their money be going to terrorist groups and stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that money that was coming from Minnesota was going to terrorist organizations in Somalia. See what I'm saying? They be involved in some of them black countries in Africa is controlled by Arabs, right? They're like religious slaves, brainwash them with the religion and then control them, you know? In some countries, they breed them, make them have the kids early, take over that part of the country, get the women pregnant, have the babies, and brainwash and indoctrinate the babies, the little boys, into their fanaticism and arm them. That's what they be doing in Africa. They be trying to breed the original Africans out and try to go in with weapons and overpower the country and impregnate the women and make the women have sons and then indoctrinate the sons to hate the indigenous people and basically go to war with their own people. Like they'll take a boy from like Somalia and take him back up where they at and have him where he go back and he don't like Somalians that's not of his religion. And they teach him that, if they not in that religion, they enemies. This is something they be doing in Africa. They be doing religious brainwashing a lot. This is why the United States government is watching them closely, real closely. Yeah, it's a movie about that. It's all kind of documentaries about that. That's why they be like, white America gonna turn on black Americans. No, never. Black Americans is a part of security forces in this country. We one of the main reasons you can't come here. We one of the main reasons Somalians can't play. Somalians ain't gonna come to no black community playing like that. They're gonna go bad. It sure is. But America got a secret weapon, FBA. We ain't going. We ain't going. Nah. No, we ain't going. Them people not war ready like us. We Revolutionary War, Civil War, World War One, World War Two. We war ready. They baby war. They're not. No, they don't do war like we do. Mm-mm. Somalis wouldn't have a chance in Chicago. Yeah, they mailing money out of the country, but they about to get them out of here. It ain't gonna be a Somalian nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Elder, I know this is off topic, but I think it relates to your previous life. But do you think with people identifying as SBA, does it debunks colorism, considering the fact we had an ethnogenesis? What you mean debunk colorism? because colorism was something maybe the Ku Klux Klan tried to promote, but we really never was into it like that. We always had light skinned people, dark skinned people. As foundational black Americans, we always been all different types of shades. So we never really dealt with colorism. Like my whole life, we've been all different type of shades, from real light skin to real dark. We even got albinos. So, and we never really did color that much like that. And because we live separate, color wasn't really that important. Like being white ain't important if you don't live around here. So I don't think colorism is no big deal. They said the economy will take a hit if they deport it, and they sending money to Somalia. That's hilarious. So they taking money, sending money to terrorist organizations, billions of dollars, and they say we're gonna lose money if they stop sending money out the country. Is that what they said? Okay. They Somalia say if we stop them from shipping billions of dollars out the country, we'll lose money. What islanders? What islanders? What islanders? What islanders you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. That's not true. Whatever you're saying, that's not true. Who told you that? Where'd you get that from? Who told you that? Who told you that? Somebody told you that? I ain't never heard that. I ain't never heard that. From what I understand, Bob Marley wasn't black like that. Wasn't dark black. Bob Marley daddy was white. So I don't know. I don't know where you got. I don't know where you got that from. Sounds like make believe. Yeah, I don't know where you got that from, but it sounds like make believe to me. I never heard that. Sounds like you're just making it up as you go. I ain't never seen no colorism. If you say so, I don't know. I ain't never heard that. Rest in peace to Gold to Fire. I never seen no colorism when it came to gold, but if you say so. Sometimes I can't listen to people. They ain't really been outside. I don't think they like talking. I don't know. But this is my brother right there. Do he look like he was? I didn't see no colorism when it came to my brother. Yeah, he was Puerto Rican. He was like mixed. I don't know. That stuff just be sound like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I be outside, so I don't know. Brothers be all different shades. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been where we one color, but maybe it's me. I ain't never seen us be one color. We be one color? I don't know, bro. Where you live at? Where you live? I don't know where you live at. Maybe I don't know. I ain't never heard of that though. No problem, Cosmo. Cosmo. I ain't never heard of that. I ain't never really seen colorism in the black community. I ain't never seen it, so I don't know. I can't speak on nothing I ain't never seen. All I can tell you, I ain't never seen that. So I don't know. I ain't never been around no black people that care nothing about what shade you are. So I don't know. I ain't never seen that with black people. I can't speak on it. Don't sound realistic though. Sounds maybe you was just self conscious because you was light and maybe you was beating up your own self. You could do that, you know. You could imagine you discriminated against and not be happy with your own color. Maybe you think you was too light. You know? Maybe you thought you was too light. So you're internalizing your insecurities. Maybe that's what it was. 'Cause I never heard of that. I ain't never heard of that. I ain't never heard of it. I ain't never seen no dude don't want to sleep with no fine ass light skinned chick because she light skinned. I ain't never heard of it. I never. That sound like make believe, right? Like somebody projecting some type of personal problem or something. That don't sound realistic. I ain't never heard of that. So yeah, the Department of Homeland Security officially terminated the temporary protective status designation for Somalis effective August 14th, following the Supreme Court ruling affecting ongoing TPS challenges. Federal courts cleared the path for the administration to end these protections, invalidating related work authorization, impact on beneficiaries and employers. Employment authorization document EADS under category A12 or C19 for TPS money are no longer valid, meaning you don't got your paperwork to work. Re-verification, employers must verify workers who previously presented Somali TPS EADs and cannot retain individual lacking alternative legal work authorization, meaning that the employers got to go send that back in so the government can deny you. Legal status, individuals without another legal immigration status must explore alternate legal avenues or face potential enforcement action. So you got to figure out a way to try to get your citizenship or get out. A Massachusetts-based federal judge on Friday lifted her stay in a case brought by Somali holders of temporary protected status, clearing the way for Trump administration to begin deporting them. The ruling from U.S. District Judge Allison Burroughs lifts an administrative stay she issued after the Supreme Court decided in a related case that the judiciary had no power to review the Department of Homeland Security DHS termination of TPS for Haiti and Syria. Now, one mistake people from foreign countries, blacks from foreign countries, they be making a huge mistake. See, they're from foreign countries. And so when they're from foreign countries, you could be in your little group, be in your little group, be in your little group, be in your little group. Sometimes y'all clash, but you can be in your little group. So when they come to America, they're not prepared. Black immigrants can't do well in America because they don't understand in America, your ass is black or white, period. And so when you don't link in with blacks, you're gonna be out there on the island. You can't be other here in the United States. And so the Somalians, the Africans, the Haitians, the big mistake they made is they was not linked in with the FBA. They wasn't linked in with Foundation of Black Americans. They was just out there on the island. So when something happened, they all by themselves. Ain't nobody gonna protest. Ain't nobody gonna make no noise. They ain't gonna be plugged in with no black attorneys, no foundational black attorneys, no foundational black politicians. They don't understand that foundational black Americans got a lot of political power and social power. In Chicago, there's a lot of black police officers, a black mayor, black city council. So when you don't link in, when something happens to you, nobody gonna pay attention. When you come to America, you're like, I'm not black, I'm not black, I'm not black. And something happened, then the Foundation of Black Americans be like, you're not black. Go handle that. You're not gonna have no backup. You're not gonna have no relationship, right? You know how stupid you gotta be to come to a country that got 50 million foundational black Americans and you don't link in? You got to be crazy. Think you're doing something because it's 1.2 million Ethiopians. 1.2 million Ethiopians is nothing. Y'all couldn't even beat the south side of Chicago, not alone the whole city. And so black immigrants, they don't understand the United States of America. United States of America is a unique country that stands out by itself. There's no other country in the world like America. America's the only country where blacks and whites been here for a long time. There's no other country where blacks been there like that around whites. We are the ones been around white people the longest. We the only black people grew up in a white country. We the only ones been in a white country since the 1500s. Nobody else has been in a white country. None of the Caribbean, none of them. They had white people invade, but that's not like living in a white country. There's no black people was actually living in large numbers in Europe. Name me a country in Europe where black people lived there a long time in large numbers. It don't exist. This is the only white country in the world where there's been a bunch of black people here for a long time. So things are different here. And so immigrants, especially black immigrants, they don't know how to play the game. They just don't know how it goes. You come here and you black, and you're part of a black group, and you don't link in with foundational black Americans, and the white power structures see you out on the island, they're going to do you dirty. All these Africans, they're going to pay. They're out there on the island. You just a Nigerian out there. You ain't got no backup. Nobody going to back you up because you've been standoffish with the other black people. So we don't really like you. Who going to back up somebody that come here and don't deal with them? You off to yourself. So you off to yourself. So when things go bad, stay off to yourself and deal with it. Don't expect us to come save you. We don't know you. I speak for black Americans. We don't know Jamaicans. We don't know Haitians. We don't know Africans. We don't know no black people but foundational black Americans. We do not know the rest of y'all at all. We don't know you. I was around some Jamaicans. None of my family was around no Jamaicans. My mom and daddy, my sister, all my kids, they don't know about no Jamaicans. They don't know nothing. They don't know you. When something happened to you, it's just a news story. Oh, they throwing the Jamaicans out. They ain't gonna have no personal relationship with you to give a damn. Ain't no black people gonna care about no Somalians. Not no foundational black Americans who is Somalians. Sound like some strangers. Oh, they throwing out some strangers. Basically, that's why black immigrants will always take a L in the United States because they don't link up with the dominant blacks. We the dominant blacks. You don't link in with us, you out there by yourself on the island. I'm telling you. You don't marry in with the family. You know, black immigrants are very unfriendly people. Africans, Jamaicans, and all them. They very unfriendly. Very. They're not friendly people. They always off to themselves and they always Jamaican, you know. They always, Nigerian. They always stuck in their little whatever they is. And they come to other people's country. That's why they be beefing in Africa. They come to somebody else's country with their chests out about where they from in somebody else's country. That's black immigrants. They the worst. That's why black Americans don't like black immigrants. They suck. I'm not pushing hate. I'm just telling you how people look at them. That's how black Americans look at black immigrants. Strangers. So something happened to you, you're like, oh well. And then see what I was taught coming up as a young revolutionary, you never let the other side see you separated. This is why black immigrants and Africans, this is why they'll never win. Because they let other races see they ain't united. They do that in front of other people. It's like how your mother raised you, don't be mistreating your sister in front of other people because they'll mistreat her. The black immigrants, they don't practice that. They don't practice that. They go right in front of other races and show them, like Jamaicans, I'll be on the reggae scene and show white Americans that they don't like black Americans right in front of another race of people. They notorious for that. Jamaicans. That's why Rasta and Jamaicans, that's why it failed. because they was on stage singing black stuff. But when the whites seen them, they like, you ain't really black. You don't even mess with black Americans. They actually showed black Americans they was haters. Jamaicans. That's why their experiment with reggae failed. Because they showed other races that they didn't even like other black people. And in America, when Americans see you don't like your own race, you're out of there. Now, I don't know what it's like wherever y'all be from, but I know here, nobody in America respects you if you don't respect your own. In America, if I see a white man stand up for white people, we like him. We like him because he's standing up for his people. If we see a white man going against white people, we don't like him. In America. Because nobody likes a rat traitor. You know what I'm saying? Nobody likes a rat. Nobody likes a... If you snake your own people, what makes you think I'm going to trust you? And you don't even like your own people. That's what destroyed reggae. Because what they were singing on the record, they wasn't about that life. They on the record lying. Rastas, Jamaican Rastas was lying on the records. They was on the record singing Black Unity. They didn't represent none of that. They was into tribalism. They didn't represent no Black Unity. No, not at all. They was the opposite of that, actually. It was so bad that if you live in like LA and you got this big Jamaican reggae artist and this reggae artist, they wouldn't get along in front of everybody else. They didn't have, see, foundational Black Americans, because we came up here, we was taught not to do that in front of other people. We only got sloppy with the gangs. The gangs got sloppy. But the gangs is relatively real small numbers compared to the foundational Black American population. People think the gangs is bigger than they are. No, they not really. Here in Chicago, the Black population is like this and the gangs is this. The gangs is little. Even if you go to county jail, the gangs everybody in there is not in the gang. There's a bunch of regular blacks in there. If the regular blacks in the county jail got together, the gangs wouldn't be able to beat them. It's just the regular blacks ain't into that beefing and stuff. But if they did, the gangs wouldn't be able to beat the regular blacks in the county jail. They'd be outnumbered by the dudes that's in there for like child support late payments and drunk driving and all that ain't gangbangers. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of people in jail that ain't in there for no gang stuff. They're in there for just regular law breaking. Like a lot of people that did robberies ain't necessarily in the gang because he do robberies. So I'm saying, dude just be out robbing. He just broke in a place and stole something. He ain't no gang member. Like crime don't equal gang member. Criminals don't necessarily be in gangs. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only one to break this kind of stuff down. Every criminal is not in a gang. A criminal is a whole different category. And every gang member is definitely not a criminal. You have gang members that's married, good fathers and stuff. They just in a gang. Being in a gang does not mean crime. It's just an affiliation with a group. It doesn't mean crime. It don't mean you bang. A gang banger is something different. There's very few gang bangers in a gang. like the Crips in LA, there's very few Crips, comparatively speaking, that actually gang bang. They just Crips because they live over there, because they grew up in the Crip area. That don't mean they bang. A banger be banging. Everybody's not a banger. That's why they say gang banger. And so the Somalians, they out of here. I knew they was out of here. I knew the Somalians was done. They just did too much. You know, I knew they was out of here. They didn't have a chance. They was just scamming and just doing way too much. And they was also too strange. You know, sometimes when you go in the country, you got to turn your religion down a little bit so you don't be a weirdo. You know, if sometimes if you're too religious, people start thinking you're going to force them to be religious. They become a little bit leery of you. It becomes too fanatical. The Somali fraud rings have sent huge sums in remittance or money transfers from Minnesota to Somalia. According to reports, an estimated 40% of households in Somalia get remittance from abroad. 40% of people in Somalia get money sent from here. In 2023 alone, the Somali diaspora sent back 1.7 billion more than the Somali government budget for that year. They have sent the Somalians 1.7 billion more dollars than the Somalian government got. Money sent from here. Money that could have helped this country. And a lot of that money went for terrorism, for terrorist organizations. Just think about that. Yeah, they being sent to prison left and right. Who remember when the Somalian got over here threatening me? I had a Somalian get over here threaten me over here. Who remember? What was that, about 2, 3 years ago? The Somalian came over here threatening me, say we're gonna do all kind of magical stuff to me. I'm like, yeah, I believe you. Oh, he was. When we see you, we gonna. I said, boy, first off, you the police. You want me to go on here and beef with you in front of the police? Boy, you all in front of the police doing threats. What you want me to do? No, I'm saying, good luck with that. He all on the internet threatening. I'm like, bro, go to prison. What you want me to threaten back and go to prison with you? Have both of us in cuffs. Both of us are being cuffs. I said, boy, if you don't get your goofy ass out of here, the police is watching me. Boy, I'm not finna threaten you back. Come on, boy. You better go eat a couple more sandwiches. You probably too thin to win and too light to fight over here trying to threaten me in front of the police. That's why I say they lames. Bro, you think I'm finna threaten you back in front of police? He don't even know he in front of the police. I said, bro, you should have stayed in Somalia. I bet you he arrested. He been in jail and deported. On the internet making threats. I just shook my head. I said, this fool going to prison. Hey, I don't got nothing to say. I'm looking at you like you crazy. You know how big Chicago is? So let me get this straight. You're going to come to Chicago. They got 77 communities, and you're going to find me. Oh, you good. You know what I'm saying? You off the chain. You know how big Chicago is? Chicago is huge. He said, go come to Chicago and find me. I said, boy, really? Boy, where you from? You gonna find me in Chicago? I said, hell no. Boy, you better take your dumb ass back to Somalia. Bro, you can't find nobody in Chicago. What? That shit was crazy. It was funny though. He said he gonna come to Chicago and find me. I said, boy, you crazy. How long you gonna stay? Boy, how long you gonna stay? You gonna find me? How I want to know how quick you gonna find me, cause that's amazing. If you come here and find me, that would be impressive. That would be impressive. If I walked out and say, hey, this me. I'm from Somalia. I seen what you said on the internet. I'd be like, oh hell no, you cold with it though. You know, I had to give him his props. He cold with it before I move out to the school office. You know, first off, you came all the way up here for these results you're about to get. That's the first thing. You know what I'm saying? You might as well, if you come up here looking for me, you might as well get in your car, back up from a wall, like 2 blocks from a wall, and drive real fast, as fast as the car go into a wall. You might as well do that if you come up here playing with Big Pharaoh. You might as well drive into a wall right there. It's gonna be the same results for fine. Who? But what you know about the rat? Boy, you crazy. I couldn't believe it. He said he gonna get me though. All on the internet. Mr. Police, I'm on the internet threatening somebody. And I'm a Somalian. You know what Dear FBI, I am on YouTube threatening somebody. I am a Somalian. I'm not really an American. He might as well have sent that to ICE. Dear ICE, I'm a fool and I want to be arrested. Boy, you crazy. Boy, you on the internet? I couldn't believe it. I showed everybody. They was cracking up. I said, look, man, I had a Somalian threaten me all the way from Somalia. Boy, they was crying. I screenshotted that. I showed that to some of the guys. Boy, they was on the ground crying. They had all kind of jokes. You need to go find some shoes and all type of stuff. Boy, he was sending himself to prison. I said, boy, you need to go back to Somalia. Boy, this America. You can't be doing that on the internet, fool. That's a terrorist threat. I said, hell no. Crazy. They ain't got a chance in hell. It ain't gonna be a Somalia nowhere. A lot of these towns where all these immigrants is at, in 3 years, those will be white. It'll be Croatians there. Yeah, there'll be white people there. Yeah, there's gonna be white South Africans there. That whole Minnesota gonna be white South Africans, Ukrainians. Watch. They don't know nothing about white people. I'm like, oh, you playing with these white people? They gonna come get all that land fast. They don't know about America. This government work fast. Look how Trump working. Look how fast he throwing people out. Super fast. Haitians out. Somalians out. All kind of Asians out. They just ain't reporting it. All kind of people they throwing out. Mexicans, Venezuelans out, out, out. They just ain't tell you who they grabbing. They grabbing every man. They in California grabbing them. And now what they doing? They ain't even reporting it. They ain't even reporting. They just grabbing them, throwing them out. They ain't even reporting it no more. Man, they grabbing so many people you wouldn't believe it. Welcome to America. They don't understand the United States. What the United States does is when you get on their nerve, they make it an economical benefit. Once they make it an economical benefit and people can make money throwing you out, it's over for your ass. Everybody coming for that job. How many ICE agents you think they got? Now they got brand new trucks and vehicles. We ain't even seen the new trucks and vehicles yet. They got brand new trains, trucks, military vehicles, cars, equipment, all kind of stuff. They got all new stuff. The immigrants have created jobs. They'll make money off of you. Then they go cut a deal for somebody else to keep you. Real gangster shit. They go all the countries all over the world and cut a deal with them. You keep these people, we'll take something off your rice prices, the other stuff we trade, we'll take a little bit off of that. You keep these people. Them people gonna be in all kind of foreign countries. Them Haitians gonna be all in Africa and everywhere. And now they not even reporting. It's a cold, cold world. It's a cold, cold game. Oh man! Shout out to Memphis. Shout out to Memphis Stan G. Man, they so cold with it. You notice they ain't reporting how many they grabbing? They ain't reporting it. Man, they grabbing a lot of people. They ain't saying nothing. Man, they sending people out of here left and right. They just ain't saying nothing no more. They ain't saying nothing. They not promoting it no more. They gonna wait and then they gonna promote. Since so and so, we've thrown out 2 million like that. That's how they gonna do it. But they ain't gonna tell you as they go. They gonna wait. They're gonna use it for political, like when it's time for election. That when they gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you how many they throw out when it's ready for the next presidential elections. Since last time, the Republican Party has threw out so many millions of people. You're gonna be like, how many? Yeah, yeah. Nah, he was just stupid. Don't y'all ever beef with nobody. Yeah, they been equipped with electrical shock gloves. They been equipment with new restraint equipment. They being equipped with new vehicles, trains, planes. Yeah, they're gonna send them to El Salvador. Yep, yep. They making deals. Man, it's ugly. Look, the United States has made financial and diplomatic deals with several foreign nations, such as El Salvador and Eswatini, to accept and incarcerate deported migrants and third country nationals in local high security prisons. These arrangements form part of an expanded third country removal strategy. El Salvador, Eswatini, and many other, they ain't gonna tell it all, right? Financial terms, reports indicate the U.S. has committed tens of millions of dollars in direct payments or capacity building funds to foreign governments to facilitate these transfers. Building funds, paying them to build somewhere to lock your ass up. Human rights organizations and legal experts criticize these transfers for bypassing standard due process, placing civil detainees in violent penal environments, and risking violations of non refoulement laws. Reform wants to send all foreign prisoners to prison in El Salvador. It's a mess, y'all. And then you can see these people hate us because they say they're gonna send you on next. They gonna once you say that, you proven to us that it's good you gone. Because for you to say that means you don't got goodwill for us either. So all of these immigrants that's getting deported is saying, you're gonna be next. You're gonna be next. Just letting us know they never liked us. That if it was us, they would laugh. We ain't laughing at them. We don't think it's funny. But if the shoe was on the other foot, they would think it's hilarious and they would be after everything we got. Immigrants. Immigrants, especially the black ones, are extremely jealous of us and the Hispanic ones. I mean, extreme. I used to wonder why black immigrants, Jamaicans and stuff, why they acted like that. And over years, I figured it out. Extreme jealousy. Like people get mad because of your life compared to their life, even though you don't got nothing to do with their life. Like I don't got nothing to do with your life being your life or your country being that. So what the heck you are mad at me for? Why did you try to compete with me when you ain't no competition? A lot of Jamaicans end up in bad situations coming up here hating. That went bad. You really think you can come to LA and Chicago, y'all little bitty numbers? Yeah, their words and their actions have revealed what they actually think of exactly. Now we know. Yeah, they made it worse. They exposed themselves. Which how you gonna get sympathy? You know, I don't get it. Gosha, I don't get it. Why would you be going through something and let the other black people know I never liked y'all while you going through something? What kind of strategy is that? Just basically running away any type of support. I said, what the hell wrong with them? But that's what's going on, y'all. I'll keep you updated. I tell you like this, we don't have nothing to do with TPS. Please stop. Black immigrants, please stop talking to us about TPS. We don't have anything to do with that, okay? But one thing we have found out, we don't have no allies. We can't trust black immigrants. Can't trust them. We can't. There are some cool ones, but it's not enough for them to keep the bad ones off our neck. We just can't trust them. They just too jealous. That's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like black immigrants got too much hate in their heart, too much jealousy. And when you winning, you don't have hate. Only when you losing, you got hate. So we outmatched with the hate because they're not doing enough for us to hate them, but we doing real well. So they hate us. So we are in the dark. See, we in the dark. We not aware of how much they hate us because we in a good position. We don't be thinking about them. I go on YouTube and I see these black immigrants talking about us, and I be like, we not thinking about y'all. Why is y'all always... So now we talking about them. We only talk about them because we found out they talking about us. That's the only reason we reporting this like this. Because we done found out they full of hate. Full of it. They start saying stuff like, y'all gonna be next. Like I said, the lady called us dirty black Americans for me for no reason. And then these Haitians keep talking about what happened to them when they was 3 years old and 5 years old. And you a grown ass Haitian and you calling another group of black people out their name because something happened to you when you was 5 and 7 years old, 10 years old. What kind of fool is you? Making enemies over some kids did. That's when I lost a lot of respect for Haitians. When I see they wanted to blame adults for something kids did to them when they was kids. That's when I say, okay, these people, they really in the tribal war. Because something somebody do to me at 10 years old and stuff, I ain't gonna necessarily blame that group when I get grown. That don't seem like that make a lot of sense. It seemed like I would be like, oh yeah, the Haitian kids used to call me names when we was kids. That's how I would look at it. When we was kids. That wouldn't carry over to today. I wouldn't be mad at grown Haitians today because Haitian kids call me something. That don't make no sense. Not to me. That don't make no sense. Now, it probably was super traumatical and dramatical, a lot of trauma to come from Haiti and have all the kids call you names. I can see where that's a lot of trauma. I could see that. But I can't see where you wouldn't work your way out of that when you got older and that's not happening no more. That's the part I don't understand. Like nobody's done that to you since the 3rd, 4th grade. So why are you still tripping? That was how many years ago? That's the part I don't understand. I don't understand it. That's like me being mad at some kid used to tease me in the 3rd grade now, and I'm still like, you used to tease me in the 3rd grade. I don't get it. I already know that was the 3rd grade. I already know that person ain't nothing like that. I mean, are you serious? You know what I'm saying? Are you serious? So you think black Americans is still on something that happened to you in grade school and high school? Are you serious? You think adults is like that? So you adult women get on there and call us dirty black Americans where it is going to stick? Because now you grown doing that? When somebody invited you on their show, and they being hospitable, and you disrespect some people that got nothing to do with your childhood. That's what that Haitian woman did. She had some brothers and sisters invite her on their show, and she disrespect them based on something that used to happen to her as a kid. To somebody actually showing you love, and you don't see the love, it ain't gonna take no years. It's gonna be real quick. It's gonna be real quick. It's the United States. They're gonna outsource the deportation. See, people like they ain't gonna be able to. Did anybody say they ain't gonna be able to do it? They're gonna take forever. They don't know nothing about America. They don't know nothing about America. America will send the National Guard and the Army to throw you out. Facts. They don't know nothing about America. They don't understand. America will gather y'all up by the thousands and put you out. America look and say, how can we get them out fast? And they'll plan. You hear everybody say, how they going to get all these people out? They don't know nothing about America. America have meetings and come up with a way to do it. Sure will. So we can use this many trains, this many F-15s. We could, this country said they'll come get them. Oh, yeah. These countries say they'll come get them. We'll put some money up for them to get some new planes. We'll use the planes to get them out of here. And then we'll take those planes and use them for this. They sure will. Now, people don't understand the United States. Right now, they are planning mass deportations. Mass. Quick. Right now. Trust me when I'm telling you. Trump don't got to do it. In America, they get a group to do it. Nancy, Rob, figure it out. Straight up. They already let them know. They said we renting out jails, but nobody reading between the lines. They already let them know. No, we're going to lock y'all up around the world. If they're going to lock them up in foreign countries, what kind of transportation deals are they making with them foreign countries? They will bring foreign people in here to grab you, too. The dude run up with an ice mask on. He ain't even no U.S. citizen. Yeah. Right now, that's why it's kind of quiet. They planning how to do it right now. And another thing, they throwing a bunch out now. They just ain't telling nobody. So everybody think it's going to take forever. You know how everybody think it take forever? Because nobody knows how many they throwing out right now. They're not telling nobody. They're not even telling the news. You know, a guy get on the news. America's only threw out this many thousand over the last few weeks. Are you sure? Because they're not going to tell you. You ain't got no access to see how they doing it. The news only see what they let them see. The news don't know what's going on. Man, they going to throw them people out so fast, it's going to make your head spin. The only thing they waiting on is to finish the deals with the people going to keep them. And the people going to keep them get paid for keeping them. So you think the people that's going to get paid from keeping them going to wait to get them? Oh, no. The people that's getting paid to get them, like, hurry up and send them. We need that bread. You got to understand, the countries they pay to keep them can fly to these military airports, and all they got to do is just drop them off. And they fly out right back to where they come. They can use their planes They don't got to use U.S. planes. They can do deals with people. They already got planes all over the world. America got big military planes everywhere, all over the world with their allies. They got cargo planes everywhere. They got allies that got cargo planes. And America will sit back and fit seats, be putting seats in cargo planes right now. Right now. They don't know nothing about America ingenuity. Right now, around the world, they got planes. They installing seats in cargo planes right now. Trust me, I'm telling you, they're gonna land with a big ass plane with a whole bunch of seats. They're gonna strap you in, they're gonna take off. Strap you in, take off. Strap you in, take off. Strap you in, take off. Welcome to America. Talk about Trump ain't gonna never be able to get them out of there. Listen, the Republicans are gonna win re-election because Americans want y'all out of here. The immigrants have made more Americans don't like them. The response from immigrants is going to put a Republican in office. They so slow. Am I lying? If immigrants talk too crazy about Americans, ain't Americans going to vote for Republicans to make sure you get out? Yes. Yes. If they get them people out of here and make more rooms for Americans and more jobs for Americans and more homes for Americans, the Democrats going to lose because the Democrats look like they love immigrants. Nobody likes the Democrats. Even people like me that supported Harris. I would never vote for no Democrat now. That's why people say, well, you did this then. What then got to do with now? You know, some people believe you can't change your mind. They think because you did something 3 years ago, that got something to do with now. They really be saying that. I thought you was a Democrat. The key word, fool, is was. Was. If you can get all these people the hell out of here, we voting Republican. Now the Democrats look like they'll flood the country out again. Nobody gonna trust the Democrats. The Democrats are done. Because the Democrats look like you get all these people out here and the Democrats will let them back in here taking jobs from us, overrunning us and disrespecting us. So now the Democrats don't look American. They look like sellouts. Am I lying? I'm scared of the Democrats now. Because the Democrats look like they'll let immigrants just run over me. That's what they look like to me. I'm not supporting no Democrats. I don't even want a Democrat to win in Chicago. I ain't going to lie. The Democrats look like they're not even Americans. The Democrats look like foreigners. The Democratic Party look like they let a bunch of foreigners take over that ain't even really Americans. They look like they let non-Americans become Americans real quick and be the mayor of New York. That's what they look like. Because that mayor of New York, I don't accept him as no American that quick, not American enough to be no mayor. How is he a mayor? He just became an American. Is he an American or is he just an American on paper? But is his mind still a foreigner? That just because you're American on paper real quick don't mean you're American in your heart. Dude gonna look out for foreigners. He not gonna look out for American citizens. He not gonna do nothing for us. That dude gonna ruin New York. I'm confident of that. I'm confident that the mayor of New York is going to try to overrun New York with immigrants. I'm confident of that. He shouldn't have never been the mayor. I think he should be arrested as a traitor. I think he's a traitor, posing as an American to undermine the country. That's what I think. But what do I know? I think he's I think he's a traitor. I think he wants to undermine the public. I think he wants Americans to be ran by immigrants. That's what I think. I don't like him. Yeah, I don't like Mandani. I don't trust him. I believe so. I believe so. I believe he was placed there by foreign governments to undermine America. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I do not believe he had the best interests of this country. I believe he should be arrested for treason. That's what I believe. I do not like him. And there's a bunch of them. People say anything. I don't go by what nobody be saying. He can't get his reparation anyway. He's just a mayor. So that's all just talk. A mayor can't get us national reparations. We don't want no city reparations. We want national reparations. He don't run nothing nationally. That's a whole nother video how people think trying to take reparations and water it down to local reparations when we want national reparations, then water it down where some people in some cities get it and other black folks don't get it. When all black folks here was a part of slavery and that whole thing and Jim Crow. So how you gonna put somebody in over here? We want national reparations. We don't want no New York reparations. He can't get reparations for black Americans in Chicago. Anyway, the mayor of New York can't get no reparations for me in Chicago. Anyway, he can't get it anyway. How? How he gonna get Chicago reparations? How he gonna get reparations for Cleveland, for Detroit, and he the mayor? She is Syrian. I'm telling you. How he gonna get national reparations and he just the mayor of New York? Local reparations is a scam to give a couple dollars here and there and don't really got to pay us the billions they owe us for the country. Say, oh, we passed a reparation bill in California. We passed a reparation bill in New York. What that got to do with North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, New Orleans, Alabama, Mississippi? See what I'm saying? That's a scam. Can he get reparations for black people in Mississippi? No. He needs to sit his ass down. We want national reparations. Slavery was national. Our money was taken nationally. Chase Bank and Bank of America was national. They're not local. All of the companies that financed slavery were national companies. So what is up with state reparations? Bank of America is a state bank? What about Wells Fargo? What about Chase? Those are state banks? No, those are national banks. What about the cotton industry? That was state? What about transporting cotton to New York? That was state. I thought that was national. If you pick cotton down here and send it to New York, ain't that national? I'm just asking for a friend. Ain't that national? Make it make some sense. I thought the business of slavery was a national business. So how you gonna have a local solution, a city solution for a national problem? Somebody tell me something. Can you have a city solution for a national problem? Because I could have swore that the cotton was picked down south. But this don't look like down south. This look like New York or somewhere. So this look national to me. This looked like the cotton was sent from the south to the north. This looked like an American industry to me. What about y'all? Do this look like Mississippi, Alabama? No, this looked like New York or Philadelphia. By the gangsters in the background, I would say New York. So slavery looked like a national business to me because this cotton wasn't grown wherever they at. That ain't where the cotton was grown. If it was some illegal substance and you shipped it from down south up here, it would be the FBI would bust you. It would be national. It would be federal. If this was a crime, this would be federal. It wouldn't be local. So how you gonna have people get reparations local when slavery and the cotton industry was national? Make it make some sense. No, reparations is national. So that's what's up with that. We don't have nothing to do with TPS. Stop blaming us. I tell you this, FBAs, we ain't got no allies, so don't try to make me feel sorry. Yeah, it do. They made money all over the country with that. For sure, Goshen. You 100% correct. Because that show looked like New York, don't it, bro? Look at them gangsters in the back. Man, if that ain't New York, the only other place that could be is Philadelphia or Chicago. They're the only places that could be. And I would bet New York or Chicago before I say Philadelphia. New York and Chicago, the only places will have this setup and those gangsters. You see, y'all see the gangster in the middle with the jacket on? Then you see the gangster all the way on the left with his hand in his pocket. Virginia, I can't see these gangsters being in Virginia. The one in the middle with the suit coat on, suit jacket on, and the hat. The one all the way on the left with the long coat with his hand in his pocket on his piece. The one in the middle with the apron, they look like New Yorkers. They don't look like Virginia. They not gonna send no cotton to Virginia because Virginia can't process it. That's why I'm gonna go New York first. New York, the only one gonna have the factories to process it. Based on the fact you make clothes out of cotton, and based on the fact New York is the garment headquarters of the country, I would say definitely New York. Virginia ain't known for making clothes. New York known for making clothes. New York is the main country of the fashion industry, of clothing industry in the United States by far. And you gonna send this? That what it look like, don't it? And New York is the clothes people. New York, the one that make all the clothes, they would be the only ones that would be able to work with that much cotton. To work with that much cotton, you have to have a big population. You know what I'm saying? You can't have no small population and handle this much cotton. You're gonna have a lot of people. You're gonna have some pretty big factories. It just definitely look like New York. I'll go by the gangsters. Them is definitely New York gangsters. Them ain't Chicago gangsters. That dude in the middle right there on the other side of this cotton bale is a New York gangster. if I had to bet, hey Goshen, ain't them some New York gangsters? Them is not no Chicago gangsters. Don't look like it. Them look like New York gangsters. The one with the jacket on, and then the one on the left with the long coat look like okay, look like Luciano, look like New York gangsters to me. Them look like New York gangsters for sure. Them is not no Chicago gangsters. Mm-mm. Their whole posture and demeanor says New York for sure. Yeah, but them dudes is not from Chicago. And Chicago did meat. Chicago was the meat headquarters, meat packing. Chicago was meat and food. Chicago wasn't clothes. Chicago was slaughterhouses, Wonder Bread, food. Chicago was food. Chicago was never clothing, never. That's another thing. Chicago didn't do clothes. Chicago would have never had that cotton. Chicago wouldn't have did nothing with that cotton. Chicago did Hostess and Kellogg's and food. New York did the clothes. Chicago did the food. That's a fact too. New York didn't do food as much as Chicago. Chicago was the food headquarters for making the food. New York did textiles, clothes, stuff like that. New York. Furniture, stuff like that. Guns, stuff like that. Liquor. They did a lot of liquids, you know, like glass bottles, like putting stuff in glass bottles, like vodka, rum, stuff like that. Chicago didn't really put out no liquor. New York was the one put out all the liquor. They once had all the bottling factories to put the liquids in the bottles. They was doing everything from juice to pop to liquor. New York made a lot of money from liquor and liquids. They was dealing with liquids. Chicago wasn't doing a lot of liquids. Chicago was doing dry goods, popcorn, potato chips. bread, meat, stuff like that. New York was doing the bottling. New York was doing all the bottling, putting stuff in bottles. That's a fact too. And clothes. Everybody know New York do the clothes. That's the garment capital of the United States. They was doing it from the rooter to the tutor. They was taking the cotton, processing it, and making the New York was making the sheets, the pillowcases, all that. All that New York was processing most of that cotton from slavery. I guarantee you. They get the money in New York. Y'all don't know nothing about New York. New York get the money. New York get more money than anybody. On my soul. I tell people all the time, you want to get your money up, you got to go to New York. Every foundation Black American needs to spend like a week in New York, 2 weeks in New York. If you want to go in the future and see the future, you got to go to New York. It's like going in the future. I ain't been in a while. I said I'm gonna go back. I got to go up there. If you don't go to New York, you're gonna be slow. You're gonna be behind. I swear to God, y'all better listen. If you trying to go into business or you got to go to New York. If you go to New York, you're going in the future. Like right now, it's 12:34. It's 1:34 in New York. New York is ahead of everybody. The day starts in America in New York. In Chicago, we 34 minutes into the next day. New York is an hour and 34 minutes into the next day. It been Monday in New York. It just turned Monday here in Chicago. And they won't even let you make money in Chicago like they let you make money in New York too. I seen things in New York that I couldn't do when I got back here. I was mad as hell. I was like, damn, I can't even do it. I ain't lying. That's why the bootleggers go there. Because they got bootleg factories in New York. They ain't got no bootleg factories in Chicago. They got they got illegal factories making and legal factories making bootleg purses. They'll make the original purses first. And then after they make all the purses for Gucci and them, then they'll make the bootleg ones on the back end and sneak them out the back door. Yeah, they'll make the legal one and the illegal one. On my soul. They get so much money there, you just gotta see it. On the side note, if you trying to make money, you gotta go to New York and just see it. If you just see it, even 3 days in New York, right? Especially if you go down on Times Square and you move around New York and you go to the garment district and stuff like that, it's gonna change your whole life. You ain't gonna never think to say it's so fast, it's so advanced, and it's real expensive. So you better get some money. You better get some money. Because if you don't get no money in New York, you can't live there. So that's that for that, y'all. I don't wish nothing bad on Somalis or Haitians or nothing. My name Wes, I'm not really in it. So some people, because you see me reporting on it, don't think I'm in it. The only time I got personals with the Haitians because the lady called us dirty black Americans. So I'll admit I wanted the Haitians to get out. I think I still do, but that's because of the lady. Without that lady calling us dirty black Americans, I wouldn't have really been in it. But I feel like Haitians got to pay for her sins. They said, well, why you going to blame all the Haitians for her? She called all us dirty. What's the difference? She didn't call them people in there and say, y'all some dirty black Americans. She called all black Americans dirty. What's the difference? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay, if we dirty black Americans, then Haitians got to get out. Bye. Blame her. Because I really, to me, that's the worst thing I ever been called. That's the worst insult I ever seen in my whole life. And I've heard all kind of insults. And I've seen people say things about black Americans. I've seen black Americans say stuff about people. But that lady calling black Americans dirty black Americans and going viral, that's the worst thing I ever heard. That's the biggest insult I ever seen in my life. I ain't lying. Usually I would have blew that off like, oh, she just talking. But the way she named the whole black Americans, like the whole lineage, come on, man. I do not like Haitians. After that, I just don't like them. Just because of that. Like, I wouldn't think about Haitians. But after that, you can't tell me nothing about no Haitians. I wouldn't care if they throw them all out. I'll be like, that's what you get. You trying to disrespect all of us. Okay, we're going to disrespect all y'all. Like, come on. What we doing? That went viral too. Disrespect our whole nation. People crazy. So in case you wonder why I got it against the Haitians, I know I'm wrong. I know I shouldn't. But I can't pretend it's cool. It's not cool. I don't like them. I don't like Haitians. Just because of that. I ain't lying. Y'all stay positive, you know what I'm saying? The best you can. Support the channel.